Having to look for a new job for the first time in a long time, or maybe you're a student just starting out in your career, or a stay-at-home parent wanting to re-enter the workforce. The approach to job search has changed from what it was even a few years ago. But get ready, coming up in this video, I'm going to give you 4 must-have strategies and 4 super hot tips to power up your job search and my #1 golden rule to successfully pursue and land your dream job. Hi! If you're new to this channel, I'm Stacey Davidson, founder and CEO of Virtual Job Search Coach, creator of PowerUp Your Job Search program, and on this channel, I teach techniques and strategies to help you determine, pursue, and land your dream job. After 18 years, mostly in recruitment, HR, and management roles in the corporate world, I became certified as a professional in career management and started my own business as a career coach, job search strategist, resume writer, contract recruiter, and I'm an expert in behavioral-based interviews. I know, it's a lot of hats. For the past 12 years, I've been teaching and empowering people just like you to define their dream job, power up their job search, and land in a career they love. My goal is to positively impact the lives of 1 million job seekers over the next 20 years, which is why I created this channel. So if you haven't visited me before, I encourage you to subscribe now, ring that bell for notifications on my upcoming videos so you don't miss out, and please share my videos to others that you know who might benefit from what I teach. Are you ready to jump right in? All right, let's go. Strategy number 1. So, to make your job search faster and easier, my first, most important strategy is to create an action plan. When you're unemployed, your job search should be your full-time job. When you are employed, but wanting to find a new job, career change, or industry, your job search needs to become your part-time job. In order to effectively find and land your next job, you need a plan of action to follow, to keep you accountable and on track with what your objectives are and what you need to do to meet those objectives. You wouldn't drive across the country without planning your route, and you wouldn't build a house without having blueprints drafted, right? So searching for your next job also requires creating a plan. If you want to be successful and find your next job fast, then you need to be disciplined in your job search. So dedicate a set number of hours per day or per week for your job search activities. If you're working full-time, then I suggest you dedicate 10 hours a week to your job search. If you're unemployed, then you should treat your job search like any other job, dedicating 7 to 8 hours per day to your job search activities. Your next job isn't going to come to you. You have to get out there and find it. What you might not realize is that 80% of jobs are filled through the hidden job market and are not advertised. That's 8 out of 10. And I'm going to explain that more in a minute. You can create an action plan template in a spreadsheet to keep track of what positions and companies you've applied to and when, who you applied to, who you spoke with, when you followed up, notes on your conversations, reminder notes of when to follow up, and which resume and cover letter you sent. I have created a simple Google Sheets template for you that you can download absolutely free using the link in the description box below. So you heard me mention the hidden job market a minute ago, and my super hot tip number 1 is utilizing the hidden job market to find your next job because it truly is the most effective means for finding your dream job. If 80% of jobs are not advertised, then only 20% are, which means for every 100 jobs out there that you are qualified for, only 20 will be advertised. The other 80 are filled through what's called the hidden job market. Now, let me explain a few reasons why 80% aren't advertised. Reason number 1, employee referrals have the highest return on investment. 88% of employers said that employee referrals are the #1 best source for above average applicants. 82% of employers rated employee referrals above all other sources for generating the best return on investment. Reason number 2, employee referrals reduce the time to hire and the cost to hire. The cost ranges from $1,000 for entry-level roles and $5,000 for most employers, with the average being around $4,000. Recruitment firms typically charge 20 to 25% of the position's annual salary, meaning a $100,000 position is going to cost an employer around $20,000 to $25,000. Reason number 3, advertised jobs on average take 7 to 16 weeks from the time of the posting until the employee's start date, whereas employee-referred candidates are 55% faster to hire. Reason number 4, referral hires have a greater job satisfaction rate and stay longer at companies. 47% stay over 3 years compared to less than 14% from job boards. Reason 5, some companies promote from within, which opens up more junior or different lateral positions which haven't been advertised yet. Reason number 6, an employee leaving gives opportunity for the company to reevaluate, restructure, and potentially change the position they will hire for. Reason number 7, in large companies, sometimes they forget to post the position or get the message to HR or the recruitment department. Trust me, it happens. And reason number 8, many companies dread receiving and sifting through hundreds of underqualified and unqualified applicants that apply for the job posting through job boards. This is why many companies now use ATS systems, applicant tracking software systems, which are often ineffective in screening candidates with poorly written resumes. And reason number 9, often a position doesn't actually exist, but through using hidden market job search strategies, an employer will create a position for that ideal right fit candidate. So now that you have an understanding of some of the reasons why jobs aren't advertised, let's talk about how you should be spending your time looking for your next job. My golden rule for a successful job search is don't spend more than 20% of your time looking for your next job through online job boards. If only 20% of jobs are filled through online job boards, then it makes sense that not more than 20% of your job search time should be spent on that task, right? In other words, if you spend 10 hours a week on job search, then no more than 2 hours should be spent searching online job boards. Your other 8 hours should be spent on more effective and proactive job search techniques, such as networking and informational interviewing, which I'll talk about more in a minute. Also consider, and you may have experienced this, that some online application processes are long and complex, and to do a proper job of completing them can take as long as 60 minutes for one application. And you are one of hundreds of other potentially qualified candidates applying for the very same job. So is this really the most efficient and effective use of your job search time? And what do you think your chances are, small, of getting shortlisted through this method? I'm not saying not to use job boards as a method of your job search, but please don't put all of your eggs in one basket and rely on this as your sole strategy to find your next job, or you could be waiting a very long time. My strategy number 2 to power up your job search is to build your network. If you don't have a huge network, that's okay. It's never too late to start building one. If you've watched my video called 4 Strategies to Fast Track Your Job Search, then you've heard me say before that networking is one of the fastest ways to tap into the hidden job market. To build your network, start with people you know, like friends and family. If you're new to an area, then LinkedIn is a great place to start and my number 1 choice for making new connections, building relationships with potential employers, and seeking job leads. And it's COVID-19 friendly because you can do it from the comfort of your home. Most people who are on LinkedIn are on it for reasons related to networking, professional development, business development, job search, and for sourcing out and recruiting new employees and potential candidates. And the best part is LinkedIn is absolutely free. You can also expand your network by joining local clubs and associations, such as the Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, or meetup groups. Attend local and remote networking events, and you can utilize social media groups to expand your network of connections. Now here's my one piece of advice. Don't approach people immediately asking for a job or if they're hiring. That's like asking to get married on the first date. Have a chat, make that connection, get their contact information, and start building a relationship with them, and then work your way up to asking them about job leads. Okay, so now we talked about building your network. Here is my super hot tip number 2 to ensure your confidence and make your networking go smoothly. Have a 60-second statement, also known as an elevator pitch or an introductory statement. Have a well-composed, thoroughly rehearsed, approximately 60-second statement that fluently and concisely articulates your background and relevant education, key strengths, skills and attributes, and 1 or 2 relevant accomplishments if possible, and what career position you want. You can use your well-designed 60-second statement in any networking situation, whether it's a formal event or a party with friends. Now, keep this in mind when developing your 60-second statement. Employers pay for talent, so know your strengths and the value you bring. Effective and successful job search, as well as successful interviews, is about 75% preparation and 25% execution. You only have 60 seconds to sell yourself, and you only get 1 chance to give the best possible first impression, whether you're in a formal interview or a casual setting. Therefore, you need to write it down. Practice your delivery in front of a mirror so you can improve, if necessary, your eye contact, hand gestures, body language, verbal and nonverbal communication skills. You want to memorize and practice being able to speak your 60-second statement naturally and comfortably. Okay, moving right along. Can you guess what strategy number 3 might be? Have an outstanding resume. Everyone seems to think they can easily write their own resume, but in my over 25 years of experience as a hiring manager and recruiter, I have probably seen more than 10,000 resumes cross my desk, most of which I could say are poorly written, and without hesitation, I can tell you 95% of them end up in the recycle bin. So for every 100 resumes that crosses my desk, 95% do not make it into my A pile, and my A pile is where I choose shortlisted applicants from. A resume is not just a record of your work history. It's a marketing document, and it's your #1 tool to sell you to employers. So if you don't want to take the time and effort to learn how to properly design and build an outstanding, keyword-rich, ATS-friendly, targeted resume to showcase your accomplishments, the best you have to offer, your ideal fit and potential, then do yourself a favor and hire a professional resume writer. Don't just hire from some ad in the newspaper or Craigslist, from someone claiming to write resumes. Make sure to hire a reputable resume writing professional with proven experience and client success. Yes, it's going to cost you some money to hire a professional, but it's an investment in you, and in most cases, 1 to 2 days' pay will cover the cost, and it could be the difference between you landing your job faster or not at all. So this leads me to my super hot tip number 3, which is most definitely one of the best tips I'm going to give you that 90% of job seekers don't do. Can you guess what it is? Having a targeted cover letter. Similarly to your resume, your cover letter needs to be targeted to the specific job and company you're applying for. If you're going to put in a poor effort, you're going to get poor results. Your cover letter is meant to complement your resume, not parrot it. It's the appetizer to your entree. Unless you're a senior level executive, where up to 2 pages can be appropriate and acceptable, in general you want to try to keep your cover letter to 1 page. No one wants to read a novel. Your cover letter should be compelling yet concise. Prove why you're the ideal candidate for the position, the team, and the company. Demonstrate a relevant accomplishment or 2 that will intrigue and entice the reader to want to meet you for an interview. If you're applying to a posting, then you want to address your strengths that match the requirements. Use power words and action verbs to demonstrate your skills and abilities. Do not use a form letter off the internet, and do not use a generic one-size-fits-all letter. I can spot a canned form letter a mile away, and if your letter looks and reads as generic, then it usually won't be read, and makes the time you put into your application a waste. You can have an excellent foundational letter written by a professional that covers most of your relevant key skills, uses action words, and demonstrates relevant accomplishments that I mentioned earlier, based on your job target. But you will likely need to customize your letter for each job you apply for, so that your letter addresses the appropriate keywords in a posting or mimics the tone of the target employer's culture. Now, before we jump into strategy number 4 and my final hot tip, if you've enjoyed this video so far, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and drop me a comment. Now here comes strategy number 4, references. Have at least 3 referees. No, not that kind. Have at least 3, ideally employment references at the ready. That means make sure they are aware that you're actively looking for work. Your referees can also be one of your greatest networking sources for new employment. If they're willing to positively rave about you, then they're also likely to be eager to keep their eyes and ears open for new opportunities for you. Make sure you've coached your referees, and here are 3 pointers. Number 1, make sure they clearly understand what your future job target is. If you're applying for a management role, but you worked for your referee as an assistant, they may speak to and promote all the wrong skills and strengths. Number 2, if you haven't worked with your referee for a couple of years or more, make sure they have an up-to-date copy of your resume and understand what skills you've developed, gained, or improved upon since you last worked with them. When you're called for an interview and you suspect you'll be shortlisted for final selection, send your referee a copy of the job posting or job description and let them know who the company is that you've applied to, what industry they're in, and what they do. This will help your referee speak more effectively to your skills based on the anticipated needs of the target employer when they get the call. Are you ready for super hot tip number 4? When you're actively seeking new employment, have a professional voicemail message. Remember, it may be your first impression, and don't answer the phone if you're busy. If you're actively job seeking, don't answer unknown calls during the day if you're not in a position to have a discussion about an interview or possibly an impromptu phone screen. Such as if you're in a meeting with your current boss, you're at the grocery store checkout, or you're in the middle of coaching your child's soccer game. Have a professional voicemail message and let your voicemail do its job. Call the number back when you're in a more appropriate time and place to have a discussion. If you have young children at home or household members who are not on alert to be professional message takers at all times, then don't put your home phone number on your resume. Use your cell phone instead. I hope today's strategies and tips helped you power up your job search. If you like what you learned, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and if there's a job search related topic you'd like to learn more about in the future, please drop me a comment. I would love to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, here are a couple of my other top videos you might also like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.